taken quite a few names in recent years, taking a couple sets off players like Jackal, and, Marvale has been ranked pretty highly in New Jersey before as well, so it'll be a great set. We'll see some Shotos versus some Palutena most likely, and I don't know, what do you... I mean, there's a clear elephant in the room, which is that Palutena is not exactly friendly to these kinds of characters.
Yeah, so I think something that sort of lends to the disadvantage is that the Shotos often need to approach in order to do any sort of meaningful damage, and they can do quite a lot when they get close enough. But the issue with that is that a lot of Palutena's kit is meant to be utilized when she is not necessarily close to the other player. So it's going to be interesting to see here how Synnister plays around that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, once she gets going, it's up to Synnister to really find some great recovery mix-ups, because that down tilt on that Shoryu that can't really snap the ledge too consistently is going to be brutal. But Synnister, he's really good at making openings out of things that, don't necessarily look that promising, as are all Shoto players. But Marvale just, laying on these up airs, it's so hard for Ken to land against this fast big hitbox, and he's just dead.
Dead at 100 as a Shoto? I mean, okay.
Borderline perfect stock.
Yeah, this Palutena character is strong. Alright, and here Marvale continuing with some of these nairs. I believe that he was able to get like a chain of 3 nairs in a row before. Okay.
Yeah, that's humble.
Yeah.
We can go for 4 or 5. Normally, but yeah, there's what I think the counterplay is gonna be really interesting, is using that Shoto, that parry to go for maybe parrying the end of the nair to try to get a punish and into a string. But Marvale right now, I mean, he even that explosive flame even covered the air dodge. He's just all over, and that pivot grab to cover the reversal attempt from Synnister was so smart, and the down tilt, no back air. He dropped for a bit of greed, but he's so all over it right now. It's okay for him to go for those sorts of plays, and even using the nair to break through the focus, and the explosive flame catching the very end of that edge guard, of that air dodge.
Man, a 2-stock lead is really just quite a lot. Okay, I do appreciate the fortitude in order to know when to stop shielding, because a lot of what a character like Ken relies upon are shield breaks from the rest of the cast. And yeah, at only... Oh no, but that's not going to be the stock quite yet. Okay, so nice DI there from Marvale. And now he's just going to continue to rack on some damage right here. Not a whole lot compared to some of the chains that we saw earlier, but yeah, being able to recover to the stage in order to try to rack on some more damage here. But that is going to be the stock right there for Synnister.
Yeah, a nice back air there. One of the, ironically, more consistent kill options for both Ryu and Ken. But, he got 1 stock. Let's see if he can, start to mount something else. It feels like Marvale's pressure has just been so consistent. But Synnister, he's starting to get some more confidence here, and Marvale, getting a little lazy on his shield pressure, and that is death. The confirm into the Shoryuken.
Okay, so we've been seeing a lot of combos in order to make up most of the damage that we saw earlier in the game for Marvale. However, you just see that Ken only needs a couple of interactions in order to take the stock. And that's sort of what Synnister is demonstrating, that you cannot count him out just yet. He's going to attempt to recover here. That nair is going... Though. Yeah, no.
That Palu nair, man, it just breaks... One of the biggest tools that the Shotos use to recover is, the mixing up of the drift and the switching of the drift with the focus attack. But Palu nair just, no matter what you do with that, it just doesn't work. It just says no to everything. And, Marvale did a really great job of abusing what's so good about Palu against Ken, Using that nair, using the safe back air on shield, going for those edge guards, even when it kind of looks a little tricky, just slowly snuffing Ken of resources. But we're on small battlefield now, a good counter pick, a little bit of a smaller stage, less ground to cover for Synnister to get in there and, start beating Marvale up.
Yeah, as you can see here, Marvale, though, continuing with some of the damage despite the small stage. Oh, but this could be a big edgeguard situation. No, not a big edgeguard situation here for Synnister. But he tried.
Yeah, but you see, Synnister is starting to get into the groove here of going for that 2 or 3 hit parry on the end of the Palutena, which is a big deal. And that Shoryu just ripping through Marvale. A really big early stock here for Synnister, and you can already feel the smaller stage benefiting him so much. There's so much less space for Marvale to take his time and run away and really set up his own safe pressure. Synnister is just in there, and he's all over Marvale this time.
Yeah, as you can see here, oh, but that back air going to make a lot of damage. And then even though the side B of the explosive, okay, that side B worked. But as you can see, going off stage deep for the Nair, able to sort of make back that damage, you know, it doesn't matter. One side B missed isn't going to kill him, but Marvale still goes and is able to get the stock from that. Okay, yeah.
And it's really proof that, you know, it feels like as soon as Synnister is forced to go for, like, you know, a side B, like an errant side B because he gets hit too far into the blast zone or anything like that, it just feels like it's curtains for his stock every time. And Marvale is just executing that edgeguard so well, there's nothing he can do. But a beautiful catch on the teleport there, and the little up tilt into the reverse Shoryu is going to take the stock, and Synnister with his first big lead of the set so far. Let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah, of course. I think this is going to actually be the time if Marvale wants to sort of get out of this disadvantage to try to escape and sort of re-establish a lot of their options. However, it doesn't look like Marvale is able to do that right here. Synnister choosing to be so oppressive in order to continue this damage streak, in order to try to take a game here. Finding himself in disadvantage. Oh, but that that F smash, not gonna get it, and then losing the stock to the Shoryu.
Yeah, that's the type of forward smash where you're up a game, you're down a stock, you're okay to if you lose the game because that, you live with it. Because that was a really great attempt at making a big comeback. You know, Ken has been dying at some pretty early percents, but that's because it's off of like hits in the blast zone. He is like on the heavier side of the cast, but just rolling through that forward smash, and Synnister, you know, he made great adjustments, and I feel like Small Battlefield was a big part of that. Let's see how he's able to translate that to the bigger stage of PS2, where Marvale, he's moving better, he has way more space to set up what he's doing. But the most important part of this is also, I feel like, that the Nair strings are longer on this stage. Is the other big factor. But the triple parry again by Synnister, it just feels like he's in the groove.
For sure, it feels like he has found his momentum of this game and is able to keep Marvale in disadvantage for longer, which is so important when you play a Shoto, as he is able to make up so much damage here. You know, oh, not quite going to follow up with that Shoryu to take the stock, but Marvale is at a pretty significant percentage, trying to go for the edge guard here, as Synnister is weak when he is off stage. Not going to make very much off of it, and now is shielding, which is not what you want to do versus Ken. Synnister trying to run in, find his opening, but Marvale, I think, like I was saying before, I do think that when you are in it, oh yeah, okay, there's the Shoryu. I do think when he is in advantage in the future, the best thing. Oh, I wasn't expecting that F smash to take the stock. Okay.
That's a really strong move. And we have the Nair into the back here started up for Marvale. He's got this corner pressure unlocked again. Something I really appreciate about Marvale is that he's mixing up the placement of his Nairs now, because he knows Synnister is like looking for that parry. You see he drifts even farther. You can only get a grab off of that one. And the platform cancel, he's got center stage again, but he goes for that risky pivot grab into the corner, and Synnister almost took it all there. Let's see if the Shoryu kills. No, great SDI from Marvale, and he's been doing that every time Synnister goes for that slightly, you know, a few more multi-hits into that Shoryu confirm. And now, how can you get back to the stage? A great late Tatsu there. Baited Marvale perfectly.
I did like to see the use of the edge guard in order to try to fall out of the explosive flame right there from Synnister. However, it wasn't enough, and he was still managed to get hit by that. Both of these characters at pretty significant damage. The dash attack not going to take the stock quite yet. Oh, but that is the stock right there for Marvale. continuing to pile on this damage right here, trying to extend this stock as long as possible.
Yeah, and now that Marvale, he has this lead, he's at 140, but Ken, it can be hard to get in and take this stock, especially Palu's so much rage, those strings are going to be so much longer, and the invincible back air just stuffing out feels like all of Synnister's hopes. Another back air. Let's see what he's got. Atatsu goes through the startup of that aerial. Synnister has to get something started now, and the down tilt, but another beautiful set of SDI from Marvale. And he's drifting back in the air. He's being so safe with this pressure. Another back air in the Pokeball and a forward air into the drop zone, and that's gonna be it. A really well fought set from Synnister, but Marvale, at the end of the day, that's, Palutena, she's gonna show up and she's gonna, use the back air, use the nair, just stuff out everything you want to do. But really great signs of life there from Synnister. I was really impressed with the way that he was, parrying the nair, really getting in there, using creative confirms to mix the DI and dodge the SDI and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Marvale, not really an upset, 8 seed, 9 seed, but a great win, hard fought win.
For sure, absolutely, to see something like that go as far as it did. So much like character knowledge as from these two, the way that you see that they were aware of each other's weaknesses, they knew when to punish, so much patience being utilized from both of them. Just really awesome to see this knowledge and level of gameplay. We are still in pools, but that does not mean that this is an easy bracket by any means. These are all very highly skilled players.
Yeah, for sure. And it is worth noting that like this is pools, but at a maybe fusion like during like a normal week, this could be like a top 8 set. Like these are two players who are regularly in the top 3, 4, even winning locals in other places of New Jersey. Synnister, that's the king of center stage right there. But it was really all about like Marvale never dropping a beat on the SDI out of the shore use, really never giving Ken an easy time back to the stage. And even though Synnister, he got back sometimes, he really had to work hard for it. And there's only so many times you can get around the explosive flame and the nair and the dare and the down tilt before eventually you're just out of luck. And that the use of the stage as well from Marvale, like going back to PS2 was also just a really big deal for him. It gave him the space and the room to breathe that he really needed.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to see the utilization of both of the characters' kits, just as a way to make their money, as in all three of these games. So just a lot of ways in which both of the characters excel, but the way that they were piloted by the players, like you said, the way that Marvale was able to SDI out of a lot of the Shoryu, is the way that he was able to hold on to his stock as long as possible. But also like the adaptability of Synnister. This, like you said at the beginning, this is not a favorable matchup for a character such as Ken, but